The Ellen DeGeneres Show is one of the most prestigious talk shows in America, hosted by Ellen DeGeneres throughout 19 seasons, from 2003 to 2022, broadcast more than 3,000 episodes. During this time, the show received 171 Daytime Emmy Award nominations and won 63 out of that. It gained 38 million subscribers on YouTube, along with 23 billion views, including videos with hundreds of millions of views. However, since the scandal surrounding Ellen's toxic workplace accusations were exposed, everything changed. Viewership plummeted, subscriber numbers dropped, and the show decided to stop airing after its 19 seasons.
And today I have an announcement to make. Today, I am announcing that next season, season 19, is going to be my last season.
And Ellen completely disappeared from the media spotlight in 2022. In 2024, Ellen decided to return to try and regain her fame, but things didn't go as expected.
Oh yeah, I got kicked out of show business.
Ellen's trying to make a comeback with her new stand-up special, although its reviews has mostly been terrible. She spends most of the special responding to her being kicked out of showbiz, which began when someone posted just one single tweet. Right now, we all need a little kindness. You know, like Ellen DeGeneres always talks about. She's also notoriously one of the meanest people alive. Respond to this with the most insane stories you've heard about Ellen being mean. The tweet posted in March 2020 received bad enough replies to begin Ellen's downfall. I work the Really Food Daily, served third and posted brunch. She wrote a letter to the owner and complained about my cheap nail polish. Not that it was her blade, but that it was on my hand. I worked till closing the night before, and this was the next morning. Almost got me fired. The nail polish story was so unbelievable. The person who wrote it went on inside the edition.
This former waitress claims she was threatened with a 2-week suspension after Ellen DeGeneres complained about, of all things, her chipped fingernail polish.
I remember just being like, really?
But the story settled back on act were only getting worse. I once worked at Warner Brothers. One day I was in the elevator and Ellen and her entourage came in. Naturally, I held it for her and asked her what floor she was getting on. Her assistant answered third floor. 30 minutes later, I got a call from my boss saying I was fired because I was harassing her. An old friend worked on her lot and smiled and said good afternoon to her one day, and she became unhinged. Who do you think you are? You don't look at me, yada yada. She said positive words with her and seemed embarrassed and tried to calm her down. Has forever changed my opinion of her. The responses went on and on and on, all of which being compared to Ellen's classic catchphrase.
I always end each show by saying be kind to one another.
Audience member Dana DiMatteo then went public with her degrading experience on the show.
They tell you, you can't be smarter, funnier than Ellen. She's the comedian and the star, not you.
Don't be funnier than Ellen. That's going to be hard considering she's not that funny to begin with. If you've been a comedian your whole life and you're afraid a random audience member will upstage you, maybe you're just not funny. Dana then revealed that Ellen's completely different when the cameras turn off.
How does the Ellen we see on TV compare to the Ellen you saw when the cameras stopped rolling?
Totally different. She would only speak to the audience when the cameras were rolling. As soon as they turned the cameras off, she would not even acknowledge the audience. She would just sit on the couch, basically.
Which was supported by Hedda Mascot, one of the show's former producers.
Toxic, phony, hypocrite, liar. That's what she is.
She agreed that things were different when the cameras weren't rolling.
We were told from the very beginning, don't talk to Ellen, don't do this, you can't, go into her office. It was very nerve-wracking, very stressful. We all walked on eggshells all the time.
And after the shows, DJ also said the same. Buffett launched their own investigation, interviewing a further 11 former employees. They were fired after taking medical leave or bereavement days to attend family funerals. One employee, who claims she was fed up with comments about her race, essentially walked off the job. Others said they were also instructed by their direct managers to not speak to DeGeneres since they saw her around the office after the accusations went viral. Ellen issued a statement within the company. Hey everybody, it's Ellen. On day one of our show, I told everyone in our first meeting that the Ellen DeGeneres show would be a bliss of happiness. No one would ever raise their voice, and everyone would be treated with respect. Obviously, something changed, and I'm disappointed to learn that it has not been the case. And for that, I'm sorry. Anyone who knows me knows it's the opposite of what I believe and what I hope for our show. That Ellen's former producer certainly didn't buy it.
So when Ellen says she's not aware of this environment, you don't think that rings true?
It's a lie.
Ellen then took a 2-month break and began a brand new season by addressing the public.
As you may have heard, this summer there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected. We have made the necessary changes, and today we are starting a new chapter.
She then makes a promise.
And I am committed to making this the best season that we have ever had.
Although the rating said the opposite, because only 6 months later the New York Times published Ellen DeGeneres loses 1 million viewers after apologies for toxic workplace. It explained that Ellen had been averaging 1.5 million viewers over the last 6 months, down from 2.6 million in the same period last year. The show's loss of more than 1 million viewers translates to a 43% decline, representing a steeper drop than any of its competitors. As a result, Ellen made the announcement.
I am announcing that next season, season 19, is going to be my last season.
Adding in The Hollywood Reporter, as great as this show is and as fun as it is, it's just not a challenge anymore. I need something new to challenge me. With her being exposed also clearly having an impact, she states the exposed destroyed me honestly. I'd be lying if I said it didn't, and it makes me really sad that there's so much joy out there from negativity. It's a culture now where there are just mean people, and it's so foreign to me that people get joy out of that. These mean people responded stating, even without the controversy, the show hasn't been fun and genuine for years. It may have never been, but at least it seemed like it. But Ellen is tired of it all and she's lousy at hiding it now. No more dancing by her, no monologue half the time, but jokes that drag out the way too long, tons of old show clips, tons of self-promotion, and a guest host every Friday. These elements led to an average final season, which Ellen concluded by crying with her audience. She then mentioned the possibility of returning to acting, but instead made the documentary title Saving the Gorillas: Ellen's Next Adventure. It released in 2023 and got almost 400 reviews. All of them were 1-star rating. It's safe to say it performed really poorly. Ellen rather went back to living a quiet life until April 2024, when she made a new announcement. You may have heard that I'm doing stand-up again. If you wanna come see me, I'll be sharing some news tomorrow at noon. As suggested, She announced a stand-up tour to be recorded and posted by Netflix, also adding, "Yes, I'm gonna talk about it," referring to her being cancelled. Titled For Your Approval, the special begins with Ellen walking up a flight of stairs, each referencing a headline that ruined her reputation. She acknowledges the tweets that started her downfall, as well as the employees who spoke out against her, then begins the actual show with a joke about her fall from grace.
You know, I used to say that I didn't care what other people thought of me, and I realize now looking back, I said that at the height of my popularity. I'm here because I love doing stand-up, I miss doing stand-up, and I like making people happy, and I do care what people think.
Now this is a pretty respectable angle, as it feels extremely honest. That it also seems like a sneaky request for pity, which as a high-profile celebrities you will simply never get. She then talks about what she's been up to.
Well, let me catch up on what's been going on with me since you saw me last. Oh yeah, I got kicked out of show business.
Then make some pretty funny jokes about her new reputation.
Everybody heard that I was mean. Everywhere I go, I know everyone's heard that I'm mean. I know when I walk into a restaurant, people are watching, waiting to see if I'll be mean. Oh look, she's reaching for butter. I thought she was gonna hit somebody.
On the contrary, there are some pretty out-of-touch segments. For example, her joking about her car features, which you clearly only find in a luxury vehicle.
Then there's that one, that button that inflates the back of the seat. You know, the one that makes you feel like you're getting spooned by a pregnant woman.
She also makes this out-of-touch joke.
We're all interested in different things. We're all good at different things. I was talking to someone the other day and they said, "Ellen, I don't know how you get on stage in front of people. I could never do that." And I said, "Well, I don't know how you dry clean clothes."
But as an overall, the special isn't terrible. Its audience rating of 5.1 stars feels fairly accurate. Also, as you might expect simply because it's Ellen, the articles written about it have been pretty brutal. Ellen DeGeneres' unfunny Netflix special leaves so much unsaid. Ellen DeGeneres lets herself off the hook. In self-indulgent Netflix special, Ellen DeGeneres is unapologetic, unrelatable, and totally insufferable in her new Netflix special. They write, the problem with For Your Approval, aside from the fact that it's almost never funny, is that it feels so disingenuous, so calculated to rehabilitate enemies and preserve the triumph of prosperity. Another article stated, "It's one of the weirdest stand-up shows in recent memory. Half observational punchlines, half closing argument in a trial, featuring DeGeneres as your own defense attorney. Neither half works on its own. Taken as a whole, it's an exhausting mess that also asks, self-awareness is different from taking responsibility. DeGeneres offers no apologies or even explanations for her behavior. That in other more favorable reviews, unapologetic was viewed as a positive. I like the fact that she is rather unapologetic. It's highly refreshing and honest. This extremely divide can be seen by the audience reviews on Google. There's almost an equal amount of 1 and 5 star ratings, a sad representation of the black and white thinking that plagues the internet so heavily today.